Hey guys, today we are going to learn how to build a website in 10 minutes using Elementor. The website that we're going to learn how to build is this one right here. It's a template from, it is a starter site from BLOCKSY, and we're going to learn how to build everything that we see here using Elementor from scratch with no code. All right, let's get started. So to get started, you're going to have to install BLOCKSY and you're going to have to install the starter site. This works for any website. You can even start from a blank page. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with edit with Elementor. This is something that's native to BLOCKSY, I've realized. So just go ahead and hit recreate kit. Right here, save changes. Then go to settings. And you are going to activate everything that I've activated. Grid container activate. We're not going to do that. We're also going to activate Flexbox containers. And that is all we're going to do. Go back to my blog, visit site. We see right here, Patrick Bradley, this template. We're going to learn how to build this. So just go to edit with Elementor. And I'm going to show you how this works. It's going to be really very simple from this point forward. All right. So let's say that we're going to build this page. There are a few things that I want you to understand. The first is that I want you to go to the bottom corner of your website and click Navigator. All right. Ensure that you have this navigator on. With the navigator on, you're going to be able to understand exactly what's here. Now, here's the thing that I want you guys to understand. We have right here something happening. We don't know what this is. Everything on your page that you're going to build with Elementor is categorized as either a flexbox or a grid. And within those flexbox or grids, which are really containers, you're going to have widgets. So containers and widgets, containers and widgets. What is a container? All right. To know what a container is, just go right here. You're going to see a plus, hit on that plus and hit plus right here. Remember that your containers can either be a flexbox or a grid. We're going to learn about flexboxes first. You go ahead and click on Flexbox, and you're going to see an arrow on the first two. The arrow points down or to the right. This simply means that for every widget that you add in this type of Flexbox, it's going to be stacked on top of each other. And for every widget that you had in this type of Flexbox is going to be beside each other. Here's the thing now. We know what a container is, do we? Well, it simply holds the widgets, and the container can either be a flexbox or a grid. Flexbox are of this design. The different lines you see here suggests a different design for your flexbox. So this container is just one big container with widgets stacked on top of each other, and this is one with widgets stacked beside each other. This is a container split in two. And this two is basically two equal parts. This is one with a 33-67% ratio, and this is one in four equal parts. This is three with one big part in the middle, and so on. You can look and you can tell based on what you see. We're going to use this one, and from this one, we notice that there is nothing here. So how do we build this? Well, the first thing that we need to understand is that this container and this container can be pretty much the same. All right. Within this container, we have a few widgets. We have the Patrick Bradley. This is most likely a text widget. To add a widget to your Flexbox, you're going to hit this icon right here, and you're going to type text. Something does come up actually. So we're not going to use that. We're going to use one of the popular ones. That's right here on the basic that says heading. I'm going to drag. So it's going to click, drag, and drop. All right, click, drag, and drop. Or when you've clicked on your container, you can click the widget and it's added automatically. So we have two widgets here that we don't need. We don't need one of these and we don't need the image. We're going to go ahead and remove it. To remove it, you just hover over what you want to remove or edit, and you right click, edit heading. You can duplicate, edit heading. You can paste from other side. You can reset the style. But the thing that we want to do right now is we want to delete it. So to go ahead and delete, and delete. Now we need to edit this. Two ways to edit it. We can change the text, which is Patrick Bradley. Just go ahead and click on it. Or we can right click and edit heading. The same thing will happen. We need to have the text Patrick Bradley. Let's type that. All right. Now that we see Patrick Bradley here, the next thing that we need to do, is let it look like this. And this is going to be some editing. So to change how this appears here, we're going to have to change the appearance. So we're going to go to the style. So we're going to right click, edit heading, go to the style. This is going to change the typography. So everything related to typography is like styles, size, spacing, font. You click right here. We are going to keep the default font. We change the size by just moving this header. All right. We also notice that Patrick and Bradley is on top of each other. This is not Elementor. So I'll just go ahead and tell you what to do. You go right here and you're going to add a break tag. All right. You add a break tag. This is a bit heavier than this. So you're going to go back to style, typography, because it's editing the typography. We're going to change the weight to 700, or let's try 800. We are going to increase the size. And that's that for Patrick Bradley. Still a little bit bigger than what we have here, but we go right there, do that. The next thing that we need is this thing. Now we don't know what this is. And here's the thing. You could be looking at any website in the world, and you can build it from scratch by doing what we're doing here. So to get this section here, we need either a heading. I'm just going to go ahead and click and grab a text editor, or we can grab a heading. If you are building from a page and you want to copy this, you can copy and you paste. You can go ahead and right click on this and say edit text editor, and it tells you it's a text editor. And once you know it's a text editor, you click right here and it gives you what it is, right? So you click right here and it tells you it's a paragraph. You can go to the style and you see everything that you need. So those are two different ways you can go about it. If you're on a website and you don't know what this is, so let's go to one of our websites here at Zeilhan. So we are on Zeilhan's official website and we don't know what's what. So we don't know what this is. Well, we know it looks like a text, so we can go ahead and add a text. Let's say it's the same thing here. We just go to our widgets and we see a heading and we drag and drop it right here. Hello, my name is. So we're just gonna right click and edit. Hello, my name is. All right. Now that we have hello, my name is, we notice that it's a little bit too big and it's uppercase. So we need to change the styling. So it's going to go to style, typography. We need to change the text style to transform it to uppercase. We need to make it a little bit smaller. We change the color at text color, which is a theme palette color, orange. All right. And it's still a little bit big. All right. Now, the thing that I want you guys to understand is this is going to be the hardest part of the tutorial for most people. All right, guys, you would never believe what happened. So I finished recording the entire tutorial and I was editing it just now. And I realized that all of the audio from this point forward in the previous recording was muted and everything got messed up. I mean, everything got messed up. So, yeah, I'm going to re-record this part. The only problem is that I'm not going to be on camera, but the content is still going to be quality. All right, so let's continue, or re-continue if there's such a word. So we do have, we're having things take shape just a bit. And I don't even know where it stopped because I know I have this left over. But the idea is, guys, is that you have what's called a container. Your containers can either be flex boxes or grids. The grids are basically designs and patterns of flex boxes, so more complex flex box designs. And within your container, which can be a flex box or a grid, you can add another container. So you have your container, you can add containers within containers. And inside of your containers is where you're going to add your widgets. Your widgets are the things that you see on screen. For example, social icons, title, or heading. The heading again, text. You can have an icon box. You can have a counter. So you just right click, edit counter, and you can see it. The best way to know what is what and what you have available for use is to click this icon right here. Just scroll through. Remember, there are Pro widgets as well in Elementor Pro. We're not going to take a look at those, but they do exist, just so you know. And as you scroll through these widgets, you can take a look at them, try to figure out what's what. Google Maps kind of explains itself. You can drag and drop that here, and you have a Google map on your website. Right click and delete. You can scroll all the way down and you see some more widgets. Oh, basic gallery, that could be fun. You add some images to your gallery. All right. And you insert gallery. And that's how you're going to go about getting your website designed with Elementor. But that is just half of the problem. I'm going to show you a little bit more advanced design technique. So we have this. This was a container. Let's just click on the container and edit container. You see some options here in layout, style, and advanced. Layout influences how things lay out. You can change the direction of flow of the widgets within the container. Change it back. Remember, we looked at, I don't even remember if we looked at justify content and so on, but you can change the location of the content. All right. You can change the minimum height of the content. So the best thing that you can do is to get started. That's just how it is. Get started, pull up a template. I'll show you how to install the starter template in the next tutorial. So there's a tutorial linked at the end of this video. It will show you how you can get one of these starter templates for free, and you can just go ahead and decode how they're designed. All right, let's just do an advanced design. So we mentioned that you need containers and widgets. Just go ahead and click add. We're going to add a container. We're going to use a flexbox in this case. We're going to use the standard direction flow. What we're going to do from this point forward, however, is that we're going to click right here. We're going to add a heading just so we know what's happening. And we're going to leave that as is. We're going to click right here. We're going to add a container within the container. So you know that this is a container within the container. And within that container, we're going to add a grid. This grid is going to have 3 columns and 1 row. All right. And within each column, we're going to add something else. We're going to add a button here. We're going to add a Google Maps because that's pretty cool. We're going to add a Google Maps, and we are going to scroll all the way down, and let's just grab an image carousel. We're going to go right here and just select some items for our carousel, just so we see something happening there. And that's how you go about it. Now, as you can realize, this is not so much the best design in terms of widget choices. But if you look right here, you see something similar, except that this is not a container within a container. This is most likely just a grid. All right. And the thing about it as well, guys, is you can go ahead and edit container and figure out what is happening here. Right. And advanced. And the thing about it as well is that you don't have to know how to do it exactly as they did it. Very rarely is it set in stone that it has to be done one way. A lot of times you just need to have it look the same way. Also important to note is that we wouldn't be finished with this tutorial until we looked at responsive design. And responsive web design is basically saying that whenever you have a web page design, it works just as good on tablet, on mobile, and on desktop, and these days on smart TV. And the difference between all these devices, more than anything else, is the screen size. Responsive design is easy in Elementor. You just go ahead and click this icon right here with the laptop and the tablet. Click that right here. And you see this icon come up at the top. You scroll it right here, and it says mobile portrait. This is what your website looks like on mobile. All right, now. So we realize that Patrick Bradley a little bit too big. Just going to right click, edit heading. And what I want you to realize is that it says right here, mobile portrait for the alignment. So the icon is for the mobile. If we switch back to desktop, it's going to stay for desktop. And if we switch to tablet, it's going to stay for tablet. So this gives us the idea that we're editing only for this screen size, which is really good. All right. So we just need to change the text size just a bit. And there we go. And it should be Patrick Bradley, but not Patrick. But that's perfectly fine. Same thing here, edit icon and the style, and we need to change the size. Is for the mobile portrait. So go there. The spacing is a bit much, as you could surmise. And let's make it a little bit now. All right. And from there, we perhaps could center, align center. We don't need to because it shows off the design. And it's the same thing with the tablet. All right. Just edit heading, typography, and there we go. And that's how you're going to go about getting your web page designed with Elementor. Now, there are some more complicated things that we can take a look at. For example, margin and padding. So I'm going to go to hello, my name is, I'm going to edit this heading, and I'm going to go to margin and padding. This is something that I did in the previous recording, but like I said, it wasn't saved. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a background. I'm going to use red. No, let's use white, because the text is already there. All right, so here's what's going to happen. Margin and padding. Margin is a space within the white region, and padding is a space outside of the white region before you get to the next element. Here's what I mean. So we're going to edit heading, margin, space within the white region. All right, so let's do that and do that. So you notice that, all right, I'm going to add some margin to the bottom as well. I'm just going to add margin to the top as well. All right, so here's what I want you guys to notice. The area outside of the white space is the margin, but it still sits within the purple border of the entire container. So the purple border you see right here around the hello, my name is the overall space that hello, my name is element is taken up. The space within, so between the purple border and this white, because the background of hello, my name is white, this is the margin. The padding is going to be the space within hello, my name is, where the white area is. So if we want to make the white area bigger, it's going to add more padding. And a very good way to look at this, guys, is that, matter of fact, let me just zero out everything, and then we can go from there. All right. So I'm going to go 50. And that's how it goes. The thing is, we don't have to complicate margin and padding whenever we try to learn that. It's something that's normally a bit tricky to understand in web design. But here's a trick that you only need to understand. Every element takes up a certain amount of space. The space that this element takes up is dependent on the margin and the padding. The space that hello, my name is taking up is this purple space right here. But within this space, there is a margin and a padding. The padding is a space out within the element, which is the white area. That's how the background is going to get a little bit bigger. And the margin is a space outside of the element, beyond the white, but still within the overall element. And I want you to take a look at Patrick Bradley. Notice these two elements, they have different sizes. They take up different spaces, but their purple borders never overlap. You can make them overlap, however, with what's called a negative margin. So let's add negative 50 at the bottom. And here we go. Now it overlaps. And from this, you realize that you can make some really cool designs, don't you? All right. Like I said, you may not understand everything from the get-go, but with just a little bit of time invested in trying to figure out what is happening on each page, you're not going to start from scratch if you're learning Elementor for the first time. You're going to start with a starter template. And to get a starter template like this beautiful website here, you only need to go ahead and watch the tutorial at the end of this video or any of the tutorials on our website. However, once you have those tutorials under your belt, or once you even have the starter template, you can just go ahead and right-click and edit container. You can figure out what's happening. You can go ahead and copy, and you can paste style, and you can copy designs like that, guys. And that's how you're going to go about learning web development, website development with Elementor. The other thing that I want you guys to understand are global colors and global fonts. To get those set up, you just go right here, this hamburger icon. That's what that is called. This thing right here, hamburger icon, click on that and go to site settings. Global colors and global fonts. They're basically saying that everywhere across the website, these fonts and colors are native. There are some advantages, speed and design and stuff like that. It's best to have these set up. So you go to global colors. These can be your colors. You can click add color and you can rename it. You can check your color. You can use a hex code if you'd like. It's the same thing with a global font. This card, all right. With a global font, you can select your global font. Let's just use Roboto Condensed, and you notice it's changed. All right, let's use something else, and you notice it's changed. And that simply means that wherever there is a primary heading, it's always going to look like this. So the design consistency is always going to be there. And the reason why you want to keep it like this, guys, is because You don't want to have to do everything over and over every single time you need a primary or secondary heading. But like I said, this should have been a 10-minute tutorial at first, but I don't want to say, oh, let's learn Elementor in 10 minutes and leave out valuable content for you. We could go ahead and take a look at globals, but this is a pro feature. We're not going to do that. We have all our basic elements. These are all we're going to need to build a website like this, guys. So thank you for your time. I'm hoping the audio on this one isn't destroyed. And if you have any questions, go ahead and submit them in the comment section below. For a better understanding, like I said, you just need to start building websites. So you can go ahead and watch one of the tutorials on our website. There's one linked in the end of the video right now. Thank you for watching. Hit subscribe if you learned. Take care until next time.